Good morning, true crime friends. Oh, child, we are back together again. Look, like this video, subscribe to the channel. There is so much to talk about this morning that I might have to do a part 2 for lunchtime true crime because there is a lot happening in the true crime world. First of all, the challenge coins are in. The challenge coins are here. The challenge coins are here. So this is the gossip, rumor, and innuendo challenge coin. This is the front of it. And this is the back of it. I made a little video announcement about these last night. And me and over there in the member spaces, over there in the back room, we got together and we worked together to design the challenge coin. Yes, we had many polls and discussions about what was going to be best. And we came up with the challenge coin. And so I bought only 25 challenge coins. If you play bingo and you win, this is your prize. This is a first edition challenge coin. I will make more and there will be other prizes, but they will not be this coin, the red one. I might do different colors or something. I don't know. I like the red, but whatever. I think I want to go green. Anyway, so the bingo link is tagged in the comments. It's pinned in the comments. It's the first comment. So go ahead and play bingo on this or other video. Click around the channel. Go explore all the little videos. And if you get bingo, screenshot it. It's electronic bingo. So you can play on your phone, you can play on your tablet, you can play on your computer. You can play 2 or 3 cards at the same time. Do you? Whatever works for you. And if you remember, there's some bingo cheat codes. I'm just saying, but only for the professional gossip level and above. The bingo cheat codes got dropped last night. Anyway, so play bingo and post it on your social media and tag me, and I will send you one of the challenge coins while supplies last. Look, I hate a show that starts off with a bunch of announcements, but there's only less than 2 minutes. Okay, so look, we need to get into it. First of all, Tim Ferriter. Remember Tim Ferriter from the Boy in the Box trial? Oh, he was pulled together. He was tight. His hair was all moosed and gelled and whatever back. He sat very still. All he did was blink, and he barely even moved his head. He would just move his eyes when he needed to look around. Honey, he got convicted last week, right? And his son, Ronan, is all free out here in these streets. And his kids, he lost custody of all his kids. He lost his house. We found out in court yesterday that his youngest child, 4-year-old Pierce Ferriter, has been adopted by his wife's parents. What? What? How is that? I'm like, okay, Tim and Tracy Ferriter, if y'all thought y'all were so innocent and you thought you were going to get off, why did you adopt out the baby? Was there some legal strategy involved with that adoption? Can you unadopt? Can those adoptive parents give the baby back if at some point? I don't know how it works. But Tim Ferriter, as soon as he was convicted, they was fingerprinting him right in the courtroom, and they was taking off his tie or whatever because you are on a live watch when you first get convicted. Okay, fine. So he was looking very stoic. He was looking a little shook. Yesterday in court, find the hearing. You have got to find this hearing because it is TV gold in my personal opinion. So picture it, whatever county that was yesterday. Yesterday was October 19th, 2023. It was a Thursday. So Tim comes in his jail jumpsuit, and he has like the blue scrubs with the white top underneath it, all scruffy. And he has either a hickey or a bruise on his neck. I don't know which one it was, but let me tell you something. You don't want either one. You want a hickey while you're in prison? Who gave you that hickey? Who? Your roommate, Bubba? You do not want to be going to the prison prom with your roommate, Bubba. I'm just saying. She had a bruise or a hickey on his neck, and he was like, yeah, I put my child in a box, but this box got me messed up. He's messed up. He was looking shook. And then we found out a lot of his personal information. Number one, remember his friend from Australia that testified on his behalf? And he's like, Tim is a good guy. Tim accidentally abused his child and then video recorded it. And in my head, I was like, Tim is stupid as they come, but okay, whatever. You can be his friend if you want to. Since Tim doesn't have a job, a house, or children, I was like, how's Tim paying for his life? That 401k, what is happening? He owes his lawyers a lot of money. A whole lot. This is the lawyer who was with him when he got convicted. That was his second lawyer. The first lawyer they owe $70,000 to. That lawyer dropped off the case, and then she sued them because there was some disagreement. Tim was offered a plea deal saying, You could do 2 years in custody and 5 years on probation. And he was like, no, I'm going to go to trial. Oh boy, blue trial. And now he's facing a minimum of 6 years in prison. After 1 week in prison, he is looking a mess. What you want to bet? Remember that? What's that movie where Kevin Hart is in jail and it's a white boy French braiding his hair, putting his hair in cornrows? I feel like that's what Tim Ferriter's gonna be like. He gonna get tattoos on his knuckles, a big tattoo on his belly or whatever. He gonna have to get real swole. I don't know. Either that or they just gonna crush him over there in the prison. I don't know what Florida prisons are like. I don't want to go to one, but he about to find out. He was like, please, Your Honor, I would like to be out for the 30 days that it's going to take me to like get my mind right. He probably going to be in intensive therapy before I go to prison. The judge was like, this looking like it's going to be a no for me, dog, but I'm going to have to write that down and cite some case law and stuff. So I'm going to have to get back to you. I'll get back to you soon. But based on the things that the judge said, the judge was like, nah, I don't. Nah, you like boxes so much, boo-boo, you about to be in one for a super long time. But his Australian friend put up his $50,000 bond. Oh, that's a good friend. And the district attorney was like, yeah, normally we request bond to make sure this person is going to show back up. He didn't even pay the original 50. So he's not, you know, he doesn't have skin in this game in that. Even if he absconds, his friend loses the money, not him. And he has a history of traveling internationally and living internationally. His BFF who put up the bond lives in Australia. He could just move his behind to Australia. Does Australia have an extradition treaty? I don't know. Maybe he wants, you know what I keep thinking? If you commit a crime, how come more people don't go to Luxembourg? Does Luxembourg have an extradition treaty? It's a teeny little country that nobody ever thinks about. I read a book recently that included where these Americans went to Luxembourg. That's Chris Pavoni's, one of them Chris Pavoni novels. Ooh, I love his books. Anyway, was it The Spy one? I don't know. It was a Chris Pavoni novel. That's all I remember. But I was like, I want to go to Luxembourg and learn Luxembourgeoisie, whatever. I'm fascinated by Luxembourg. Anyway, so he could abscond to Luxembourg and just be in the wind, and we might never find him. So I think they should keep him locked in the box. Meanwhile, on Zoom during the trial, they zoomed in on Tim. I was like, oh, this camera person is shady. I love every minute of it. The camera person was like, let me zoom in on Tim's bruise and his hickey and all his scruff and all of his like not being able to sit. Oh, he was a wreck. And at one point, the judge was asking questions and the lawyer was like, hang on, I need to consult with my client. So he went over and they was talking. Tim was like, please, let him. I need to go home. I need to go home so bad. Oh, I need to go home. And then he sat back up. And the lawyer went back and she like said whatever to the judge. And the judge was like, okay, this is almost certainly a no, but let me just go write it down with citing some case law and whatever, because it's only a month. And I'm sure to the judge, only a month doesn't seem like that long. But it's like, you know how treadmill minutes seem a lot longer? Jail minutes got to seem real long. And honestly, Tim was looking so rough. I don't expect him to survive. I'm not saying, but I'm saying if Tim sadly harmed himself or ran off or something like that, it wouldn't surprise me because he was not looking good in prison yesterday. Speaking of not looking good in prison yesterday, Cara Rintala got sentenced. Now, you know Cara Rintala, she unalived her wife, threw her down the bottom of the stairs, and then threw a bunch of paint on her, and the paint turned pink, and then the paint turned white, and there was a whole bunch of questions. Could we say fresh paint? Is fresh a bad word? Can we mention paint at all in a court of law? Honey, Cara got convicted of second-degree murder, and her lawyer was like, that's too bad. I was hoping she would go free, but I have a plan B. This was Cara's 4th trial. 2 of the trials hang. One of them she got convicted, but then the conviction got overturned. So this is the 4th trial, and she was back, and the lawyer was like, we believe that Cara didn't do it. Also, the lawyer wore double-breasted, is a female, like a heavy-set female lawyer wearing double-breasted sisters. Let me just drop out of crime for a minute, give you a quick fashion tip. Heavy-set sisters, them double-breasted is not going to be it. I mean, obviously you have double breasts, but a double-breasted suit, that's not for you. That's for somebody else. I don't know who looks good in double-breasted, but if you're heavy-set and you got them double rows of buttons, that's not for you. But anyway, that's just a little fashion tip for me to you. Cara Rintala's lawyer in all them double-breasted, light-colored suits after Labor Day. Ma'am, you might have lost that case on the strength of you was wearing white after Labor Day and pink and purple and whatever else. Well, yesterday she was finally dressed appropriate. I believe the suit was still double-breasted. That was sad. But it was at least black. Like, ma'am, it is fall. You need a dark color suit. I know y'all not here for fashion. Y'all here for gossip. But sometimes gossip and fashion, they just they marry like that. But so I was like, oh, she finally dressed appropriately. Good for her. Cara Rintala in all of her LLB fabulous. Don't she look like she should be in she looks like she should be driving a Subaru in an LLB commercial. Some might call that like a stereotypical lesbian look or whatever. I mean, and she is a lesbian, whatever. Who am I to say what anybody should wear? God knows, because I'm just sitting here in some pajamas from Target. But, and they're super comfortable. Isn't this a good color? I love these pajamas. Anyway, so, Cara Rintala, who always looked just like a skosh too casual for court, in my personal opinion, but she was there for murder, not there for fashion. So, she has been convicted, and the day she was convicted, she was like, oh, child, she was in the ugly cry. She was upset. She was so upset. So I was just like, okay, because here's the thing. She was in prison for 7 years, and then her case got overturned, and she was home for like a year. Now she's got to go back to prison. Probably, she was sentenced to 12 to 14 years, and they say you never make parole on the first try. So she gets credit for time served, right? She gets credit for that first 7 years. She's going to have to do at least another 7, maybe another 9 before she's free. Ooh, that's a tough pill to swallow. Can you imagine? You in prison, you feel like you didn't do it. It's not your fault. You accidentally unalived your wife because she was getting on your nerves and trying to take your house and your child. And now you're like, dang, I'm in prison. And then, ray of sunshine, the hope comes in because you're like, wait, I'm getting a new trial. Oh, I'm going home. I'm going to redecorate. I'm going to buy a new house. I'm going to be a paramedic. Okay, what color am I going to paint these walls? Probably the wrong color for this season because that's how I roll. But okay, I'm going to get the LL Bean catalog and buy all them pillows with dogs and pine trees and stuff on it. She was decorating her new house in her mind. She was going to move to Vermont. She had it all worked out. And then, boom, the hammer falls. She gets convicted again. And the only thing she could think about is what do I have to do to get the soft toilet paper? How much money am I going to need put on my books? Oh my God, I have to go back to prison. Boy, that thread count on them sheets is terrible. They're going to have bad outfits. Although her figure is kind of straight up and down. And so maybe those prison jumpsuits look good on her. I'm too curvy for a prison jumpsuit. I couldn't. I mean, that and I have not committed any crimes, but just they would not serve me well. If they had black ones that would cinch at the waist a little bit, maybe I could work with the outfit. But for the rest of it, no, thank you. So anyway, Miss Cara is going back to prison, and her child was there to talk to the judge. Now, sadly, they did not play they did not record for the TV, the YouTubes, the victim impact statements. But I can read, child. I have 2 eyes and a very good reading comprehension and ability, unlike that one dude in that other case we're going to talk about in a minute. But the daughter, who is now 15, Brianna, she's like, one of my mothers is gone and the other one is about to go to prison. She's 15. If her mom is in jail for another, 7 years, she's going to be a full-grown adult before her mama gets out. Who's she living with? Who's taking care of her? Are there grandparents involved in the picture? What does she look like now? She was 3 when this happened. She's going to be 20 when her mother gets out of jail. How do you parent from prison? I don't know how that works. But something tells me she's going to have a substitute mama, a surrogate mama. You need your mama, assuming she's a good one. Because if your mama is garbage, then, some folks end up just raising themselves, or you just create a family of chosen people. So if your family of origin is not working out for you, go on, pull together a new family. Okay, you my new mama, you my new daddy, you my sister, you my brother. Y'all can make a family of misfit toys, child. I have a bunch of kids that are not my kids because their mamas was garbage. No shade to their mamas. I mean, maybe some of their mamas was fine, but if their mamas was fine, they wouldn't be over here making me their mama. So I'm just saying. Maybe their mamas just need a little help, but I got a bunch of kids. I have the 3 that I created in my body. I have the one that I got when I got married, and he is a blessing to my whole entire life. And then I have about 8, 9 other children that are not my actual children that are my children. Oh, I feed them, I sew for them, I take care. Because that's what mamas do. We take care. One of them, as an aside, Miss Celeste, we need to get these cooking classes together. Now, I know you're in school, but we need to finish filling out the family cookbook. Look at me, using my little YouTube channel to send messages to my daughter. Celeste, girl, we got to schedule some cooking classes. We have to, because I don't have children that cannot cook. All my kids can cook, except for Celeste. She can't cook. Celeste, how you out here in these streets trying to find yourself a husband you can't cook? Girl. Okay, anyway, that is an aside. Look, the Adelson crime family. Charlie Adelson is going to court next week. And honey, over on Court TV and over on Surviving the Survivor and on all the podcasts, Fancy Nancy, what's her name? Fancy French, Fancy. It's a lady whose first name is Fancy with an I. I forget her last name. She has covered the Adelsons extensively. I think her whole channel is about the Adelsons. So I have done a deep dive on the Adelson crime family to the point that I even made a separate Adelson playlist because there's a lot on them. Everybody is saying Charlie's going to blow trial. Charlie going to get convicted. The government has him dead to rights. So much information about old Charlie. And I was like, oh, let me find out. They have the tapes. They have his behavior. They have his spending. There's so much going on with the Adelsons. And they're in jury selection right now up there in Tallahassee. Next thing you know, his trial is going to start and I will be purged. Everything about this trial has been ridiculous. I have recently watched the trial from 7 years ago, or no, from 4 years ago. I have recently watched the trial from last year, and all the characters in this are characters. And word on the street, Katie McBanawa, who was Charlie's accomplice in this, listen, they offered her a plea. Okay, we're going to give you 3. She had been in jail for 3 years. They said, listen, we'll give you time served and you could go home and be with your kids if you roll over on the Adelsons and give us everything you know about the Adelsons. Well, she was Team Charlie. Also, I heard scuttlebutt that the Adelsons were paying for her attorney. So, Katie was like, nah. I'm about to finish up this trial. I'm going to go home. My kids are going to have a tutor. I'm going to live good. I'm going to live happily ever after with my children. Boom. She blows trial. LWOPs. Life without the possibility of parole. So now Katie is sitting her behind in Florida State Prison for the rest of her life when she could have been home with her kids already. Now she's locked up and she's looking at a long stretch of the rest of her life. Her baby's daddy is in prison. She's in prison. Both of them doing life without the possibility of parole. The dude who was the driver in the case struck a deal, got 3 extra years, and he gonna be home before everybody. Y'all are crazy. The dude who struck a deal can't even read or write. He's illiterate. You got a college education, and you in prison, and he about to come home. Plus, you in state, he's in the feds. Who's educated now? Listen, all that book smarts ain't help her out with the street smarts. She should have taken a plea. Oh, she should have taken a plea. But maybe she felt like, nah. If I take a plea, that means Charlie is not going to think I'm cute and I can't keep showing him my murder boobies. You remember Miss Katie, because she took her proceeds from the murder and she got herself a breast augmentation. Murder boobs. Now, her and her murder boobs are over there in prison. But here's the gag, honey. Miss Katie has given a proffer and the government already had all they needed on Charlie. Word on the street is that Katie's proffer gave them enough information to at least indict Donna Adelson, Charlie's mama, and Wendy Adelson, the widow. Look, them uppity heifers, they're like, I will not to be found guilty. My pinkies are out. I don't do prison. But then Katie started running her mouth. Katie was like, oh, let me get this straight. All the brown people involved in this case have gone to prison for the rest of their lives, except for Tuto, Tito, Tato, whatever his name is over there, start with a T. He about to go home. The illiterate dude is going home. But me and my baby daddy, we here in prison for the rest of our lives. Oh, no, honey, I got tales to tell, and I'm going to tell them. So she has been transferred from wherever she was in the state of Florida up to Leon County. That's where Tallahassee is. And she has given a proffer in the state of Florida versus Charlie Adelson. And she might just have enough information to bring down the women of the Adelson crime family. I have so much more information about this case, so much more that I have to do it in another episode. We're already at 20 minutes. This video is going to take 500 years to upload, and I have at least another 20 minutes of information to give you. So this is what I'm going to do. The rest of the Adelson crime family information is going to be, it's going to drop today at lunchtime. True crime. Yes, it's a cliffhanger. I know y'all hate cliffhangers, but what you want from me? So the rest of the information about the Adelson crime family is going to be on Lunchtime True Crime. Also, I have made an Adelson crime family playlist. So you can avail yourself of that. There is plenty of, there's like 2 or 3 Adelson videos, but many more to come with this case coming up, the state of Florida versus Charlie Adelson in the murder of Dan Markell. I'm about to let this dog in because she's barking, getting on my doggone nerves. And then I'm going to drop all of the scalding hot tea that I have on the Adelsons, because y'all don't trust them Adelsons. It's a problem. Okay. Have a good rest of your day. I will see you at lunchtime. You take good care. Bye.